having, sometimes when guys either change teams or get exposed to new elements of jiu-jitsu, sometimes you see large improvements in their game. And so it'll be interesting to see Khera, having moved and trained with Robert Drysdale leading up to this year's Worlds, if his game's changed at all and if maybe it's potentially improved.
Yeah, I mean, he has looked really good in this tournament. So normally I think I would say that, yeah, Otavio Sousa should be the one with a clear advantage here, but and going after this omoplata is pretty
beautiful
deep.
omoplata here by Sousa.
Jumps over to the side. Sousa nearly trying to push the elbow into his legs just to get the quick armbar there, and I think that's when Munch decided to cartwheel over to the far side, which is exactly what he should do if he can.
Munch, the nickname of Mansher Khera?
Yes.
Now, John, we were talking a little bit before about the potential showdown between Mansher Khera and former teammate Marcos Tinoco. If he can overcome Otavio Sousa here, it would be quite the drama on the mat, I would think.
Are they set to meet? Is that semis?
That would be the next. That would be the next round here. Since Marcos just overcame Matteo Spirandelli in the last round, it would be Mansher Khera and Marcos Tinoco in the next round, the men's semifinal, if he can overcome Otavio Sousa here.
Medium heavy quarterfinal match. In blue, representing Otto's Jiu-Jitsu, Lucas Barbosa.
Yeah, I mean, those are just the types of storylines that you really look for in the world. It spices things up. It's, pitting old teammates against each other. Makes it at the very least, a little bit more interesting.
Otavio Sousa looking for a lumberjack sweep. Mansher Khera comes back down to his knees. Speaking of controversy, Dylan, former teammate, or current teammate and former Marcelo Garcia student, Dylan Dennis, actually coaching Mansher Khera for this match. Dylan Dennis with two really good matches yesterday, neither of which he was able to come out on top of, but he had a great match in the absolute with Luis Panza, and then a really good match with the Hulk,
Barbosa?
Yeah. Lucas Barbosa. In the first match of his division, it was one of the matches we profiled on Flow Grappling. It was one of the most explosive first-round matches.
It was a rough first match.
Two really tough draws for Dennis yesterday.
Yeah. Well, that's why this 2017 year for the Worlds is just so tough. No matter how good you are, there's half the competitors are going to lose first round, excluding buys. So a lot of upsets. Mansher Khera still stuck in the close guard. I think he was thinking about doing the double lapel choke, where you just you stiff arm one lapel across the neck and take out the slack with the other one. You tripod up, kind of the way he is now. But it's a very strong choke, and it just forces your opponent to open their guard and put feet on the hips and push you away. When used properly and not overcommitted to, then it should just open up the closed guard fairly effectively, as long as your opponent doesn't shut it down early, which I think Otavio did. I like this, trying to stuff Munch's head to the inside, or to the outside, underneath his right armpit, and then he was going to Bravo grip that lapel over the back.
Khera is going to have to be careful here. As frustrating as it sounds, when you're caught in a guard like this, you're constantly threatened, but you're also having to battle, and so he's standing here, which is really good, but you also have to battle the fact that you'll get called for stalling if you don't progressively try to come up to your feet or break the guard.
Yeah.
And so you're
working.
working.
He's got this cross sleeve grip, which can make it really strong. Yeah. Munch realizes that, sits right back down.
That's absolutely true, and that's what makes this so hard, is because Otavio is attacking from all angles, but you also have to, you're kind of competing against the referees as well, because you'll get called for stalling, and
he feeds it a little bit better.
It's a bad proposition to be caught in closed guard.
Now he's got a gi darce on if he can pull Munch's left arm across the body.
Yeah, and those arms are actually in a little bit of danger here as well. His posture is not great from the angle that he's at.
Yes, it's horrible.
Yeah, he's at risk, and it's just a matter of if Otavio wants to take the risk of going after one of those arms. And Mansher may be baiting this a little bit, but
he could be.
Once you know the rules, you can break the rules. But unfortunately, you run the risk of potentially getting arm locked in this case.
Munch thinks that that's a risk worth taking, evidently, because fairly comfortable to sit there with terrible posture and extend his arms.
Yeah, and you can see Otavio now with his feet on the hips working up closer and closer to that arm.
Yeah, and if he starts to grab towards the underside of Munch, he could have had a wrist lock maybe there as the wrist was kind of jammed up into the armpit. Probably wouldn't submit, but at least get Munch moving and maybe then attack one of the arms while he's not thinking about it. But this is where you get to see how confident someone is in their jiu-jitsu. You know, it's always suspect when somebody at this level that really knows jiu-jitsu is willing to tripod up, their chest is facing the ground, their head's facing the ground, they're in horrible posture, and extend their arms within the closed guard, just begging to be armbarred.
Yeah.
Are they baiting you for something? Do they have tricky arms? Like, what's going on? But if you're really confident, then you're probably just going to jump on anything that you see that you think you could submit.
Yeah. And Otavio Sousa is extreme. I mean, he's as seasoned as they come. And so he's...
But he's also smart.
Yeah.
And you know, if something looks too good to be true, then maybe it is. There could be a little bit of that going on.
He still has that Bravo grip now. He might be looking to either cross collar choke or pull that arm across for the Bravo here. Mansher, again, talking about this a second ago, the posture is not good here, and he's going to put himself at risk. And now he stands all the way up.
Is he trying to finish this Bravo standing? He's got a deep grip on that left arm. If he can get this on his right arm, yeah, and here's the gi darce where he pulls the arm across. If he usually has to get his chest weight on top of it, though. You have to be on top
Khera's
or be able to
digging his arm down. He's kind of chicken winging his arm in there. It makes it hard to get the arm all the way across. So he frees himself from that Bravo grip, but he's still stuck in the tight guard of Otavio Sousa. Fighting a guy that has a really threatening closed guard can be exhausting because you just have to sit there and mind your P's and Q's. You're constant danger, and you have almost no offense. It's about the most frustrating form of jiu-jitsu to play.
Yeah, and the worst thing about that is that you're sitting there, you're doing everything right, you're wearing yourself out, you're trying not to get submitted constantly, and then if everything goes according to plan, then you still have to pass the open guard once you're out of the closed guard. So not a lot of fun unless you have a surplus of energy. And even then, you got to be a good guard passer.
The guard of Otavio Sousa is open right now. He closes it back up again there. He keeps putting his feet on the hips. Mansher's he's putting a lot of his weight forward and hands in the armpit. This is nullifying some of the closed guard attacks of Otavio Sousa, but he's really done nothing to try to pass the guard since the very beginning. And he's going to need to if he wants to win, even though it is tied right now. As we were talking about earlier, kind of the rules of referees' decisions. The top guy usually will get the nod if he's actively trying to pass the open guard, but when trapped in closed guard, it usually will go to the bottom competitor.
Yeah, this is, from what I've been told, this is viewed by the refs typically as control from the bottom. So if you can keep that closed guard, you can keep them in your closed guard.
I really don't know what I'm having trouble understanding what Mansher Khera is trying to do here with his weight forward. He seems frustrated, but he's not really doing a lot to try to break the guard of Sousa.
Yeah, I mean,
when your weight is forward like that, the only real way to break the guard is to either do like a Sao Paulo style pass and drop down, or to get your knee in the middle and do kind of like a log splitter.
Yep. And to your point, with the Sao Paulo, you do have to drop down at the end too, and you're also giving the overhook.
So now he's standing all the way up. So this is an improvement here.
And now watch out.
There comes that Bravo grip again.
He kept that body lock until he was all the way over.
So
and this sweep might actually work.
Yeah, and Sousa knows there's 27 seconds left to go. He's managed his match really well. He's going to come up and try to get a sweep here in about 2 seconds, I have a feeling. No, he's going to hold him down. He might be content to let it go to a referee's decision, having been a veteran that understands how the referee decisions typically work, but it is only a tie score.
No, he's going to put Mansher on his butt, try to get this advantage at the very least, and just finish the fight right here.
And that's going to be the time. 0-0 match. I have a feeling that Otavio Sousa is going to get the nod here, as he was very actively trying to sweep and submit throughout the match, but a very safe game plan on his part. Mansher Khera not really able to get much going on from the top.
I mean, that's kind of what we see from Otavio in recent times. He's very good with control. Usually he's going to win a points victory if the skill level is pretty close to his.
Yeah, and I think you can see it on Mansher's face. He knows he's not going to win this decision here, I don't think.
It's going to be, it's tough to say that Mansher won that one.
Yep, and all the judges score it that way. All the judges score for Otavio Sousa, who will move on to the next round to face former teammate of Munch, Marcus Tinoco.
Representing Gracie Baja, Otavio Sousa.